Hello, my name is Koray Tuğberk GÜBÜR, and this is the SEO in 2023.
Koray, what is your number one SEO tip for 2023?
It is focusing on information responsiveness rather than just the information retrieval.
Information responsiveness. What does that mean?
It is actually another concept from the Google research papers, especially Dr. Masler and Dr. Nayork, and these two names are really important for the future of the Google. They are like successors of the Amit Singhal, and they're actually publishing many really good research papers about corroboration of web answers or finding new knowledge domain experts, or how to understand who has the real expertise on the web, or what kinds of filtering methodologies can be used. And information responsiveness is highly connected to the latest Google update, which is helpful content update. And basically it focuses on not relevance, but it actually focuses on the quality of the information, whether it is accurate, whether it is rich enough, or whether it is responsive to the need behind the query. And to be able to do that, they need to focus on information extraction. Maybe it's clear or more clear.
It's more clear, absolutely. I feel that every answer you give, you come up with another phrase that I have to ask you the definition of before we progress. So the next one is knowledge domain expertise. How would you define that?
So, okay, I will give my definition first, then I can give the definition of the Googlers. So knowledge domain is a little or slightly different than the contextual domain, because a knowledge domain actually consists of multiple other entities around a specific type of topic. A topic might actually include multiple entities. When it comes to the contextual domain, you always have a context qualifier, and these are created usually with the functional verbs like for, on, in, or these type of things. And these things are used for uniting multiple other entities around a certain knowledge domain. So this is also a little related to the David C. Tyler, who is also another Googler and researcher, because they are actually dividing entire web into the different knowledge domains and to the different contextual domains. It is very much easier and cheaper for indexing in this way. And in one of the latest researches, they even tried to change their indexing structure. Rather than using phrase lists or even entity lists, they actually started to focus on triples and especially to the predicates. To demonstrate the prominence of these declarations, I can tell that if a search engine changes its indexing structure, it means that all the rules of SEO actually changed. It's how important it is.
Wow. Okay, so what are the key rows that have changed then?
Okay, so first of all, since 1999, actually most of the time, most search engines, they always try to create phrase lists, then they start to create the word vectors or context vectors and different types of combinations of phrases to understand the topicality of a specific document. But for the last 10 years, Google actually focused on balancing the page rank thanks to quality of the information, because whenever they are able to increase the language understanding capabilities, thanks to different types of language algorithms like BERT, MUM, or T5, they are able to actually understand teeny tiny details or teeny tiny context differences around them. And it actually helps them to focus on the information on the content rather than just the page rank or the page rank hoarding. Because links, since everyone is actually manipulating them in a way, it's like rather than focusing on just what kinds of phrases appear and what is the page rank, they actually focus on what kinds of questions are answered and what kinds of functions can be done via this web page. And when you think like that, the predicates in the triples, let's say Tom Hanks played in or acted in this movie. So in this case, after the entity or named entity Tom Hanks, there are probably like 600 other predicates that you can use. But according to the predicate that you have chosen, all the nouns or all the objects that you can use, they will have certain type of constraints. And these constraints help them for dividing entire indexing shards or index hierarchy. And according to the predicate noun or the subject in the triple, they are able to actually locate or divide entire documentation from each other. And Google, usually or most of the time, they want SEOs or website owners to choose a certain context, a certain main entity, and a certain topic for entire document. They want us to actually focus on a single section for that. I can suggest a research paper for this. For example, context-based person search. It will help people to understand, especially for the news industry, why these things are really, really important.
So I'm trying to decide what this means for your chances of ranking something. So, for instance, if you're a relatively new website, relatively new domain, Google just crawled it for the first time quite recently. Are you saying that if you publish a wonderful piece of contextual content that Google understands, it's easier to get that ranked than it used to be?
Yes, way much easier actually without the links, but lately there is another problem there too, because AI content generators, for example, just 6 days ago, I had a website which generates 68,000 clicks a day, and entire content was generated with AI. And I can tell that the content was actually quality, but we get manual penalty. And now it is just 0 clicks. So in this case, even if your documents are really, really quality and responsive and really contextual, even if you configure them in the best way, search engines still actually find a way to block you, or they want to block you, because when you generate content with the AI, and it was my latest suggestion for the 2022 with natural language generation, it doesn't mean that actually I am the expert there. That's why I'm telling that finding the knowledge domain expert and understanding that the person is really the expert for that topic is very much more important than actually giving the responsive document. Because if you're able to provide your expertise, if you're able to prove that, search engine will try to actually prioritize you further. And one more thing is the AI generated content. I can actually generate 50,000 websites every day with 10,000 web pages each. It means that actually I am trying to erase the real experts from the web. And at the end of the day, the real experts, they would also behave to do whatever I do, because they can't compete against the AI. In this case, it will create an SEO culture that everyone uses automation and no one does the research. So actually that's why AI generated content, or the content websites, that's why they're also a little dangerous from Google's point of view. Because between 2000 and 2010, we have given more weight to the page rank and information retrieval. From 2010, let's say to today, we have given more weight gradually to the semantics, linguistics, and real information to find the topical authorities and experts. And today, AI is able to generate millions of content every day. So it means that Google might need to give more weight to the page rank, because we can generate 50,000 content a day, but we can't get the links that quickly. To prevent this situation, actually, Google will need to fight against fake experts. And that's why, yes, it is easier to rank with your responsive information, but rather than information, you also need to provide a really strong brand identity and also expertise identity for that topic.
So are you saying that it's a bad idea now ever to use AI content?
If you are using AI for outsourcing your content production, most probably, as I experience, after a point, Google will find you and you will have a manual penalty. But if you are providing your expertise and you just AI for speed rather than complete production, then yes, you can use it. But if you use AI, let's say with AI, I can write a perfect article about treatment of, let's say, a cancer type, let's say breast cancer. I can write it, but it doesn't make me an expert. And I can even harm people if they reach out to me. So it means that actually, thanks to AI, everyone can imitate the expertise, but they can't have it. So that distinction is something that Google needs to focus on further and further every year.
So surely that means, though, it's still possibly okay to use AI to generate content for product pages?
Yes, you can use actually for these areas. I'm not telling that it will put you in danger, because let's say you have 40,000 products, you can't use humans for that area. You can use certain type of automations to give certain types of structured information about the products. But when it comes to the proving your expertise for these products, you will need to define many concepts, many parts, many types, many use purposes or using guides or guidelines. Even if you use the AI, again, you will need to provide an identity to show that you are accountable from the information and the product that you are actually providing for.
Understood. Let's go back to definitions.
Okay.
One other phrase that you used is corroboration of web answers. What does that mean, and why is it important?
Yeah, it's also it is actually a name from a research paper from 2007. Why it is important? Because every Googler still today they cite the document. Minji Wu and Amelia Marion, they have performed this research with the queries of the Yahoo actually. And around 2007, Yahoo was really a strong search engine too, among Bing and also Google. Actually, Google started to dominate after 2010 and 11 mainly, thanks to Chrome. But when it comes to the corroboration of web answers, in Google, let's say, Google launched 3 or 4 different blog announcements lately. One of them was about information quality. The other one was about information literacy. The other one was about content advisories. Let's say there is no proper or helpful content on the SERP, Google puts a kind of warning. They say that the content of these pages, they change and they all say different things. And when it comes to corroboration of web answers, it is collecting all of the answers from multiple sources. Then you use all these answers from different sources to find a fact or a factual ground. Sometimes you don't have an exact fact. You need to create a truth range or factual range, especially for the numeric values. In the research paper, they used 2007 Honda Civic mile age. And they find in the research paper that even the Honda.com actually gives contradicting information. A web page says that it is 51, another web page says it is 38. And for these type of situations, to have a consensus, to have a groundedness, the search engine needs to actually collect all the answers from all the sources, then they need to collect all the evidences. And to construct a better accurate knowledge graph, they need to understand certain methodologies to actually corroborate these things, to present the facts. And word call outs in the feature snippets, according to the Google, these are consensus and grounded facts. One more thing is, if you check the Lambda research paper, you will find 6 different metrics there. For instance, one of them is interestingness. So they want Lambda to give interesting answers rather than boring answers. The second one was safety. They don't want Lambda to tell that, just go and kill yourself. They always try to find positive sentimental sentences. The third one was groundedness. They want AI to find base ground answers or the informations, and without giving the consensus. Sometimes search engine also provides multiple feature snippets, or let's say multifaceted feature snippets, by giving answers from multiple sources, and they try to understand actually which one is better, which one should be the main representative one. The other ones actually probably they will have like 5 or 6% of appearance on the SERP. This is what corroboration of the answers.
Well, you've certainly provided several rabbit holes for SEOs to get lost down, but maybe let's just finish off by sharing a practical tip about how to implement or how to utilize the knowledge that you've shared in perhaps a piece of content that's generated or perhaps the evolvement of an entity.
Of course. So first of all, to be able to create responsive information, or let's say query responsiveness, you will need to actually give the answer in a direct way, more direct than actually your competitors. Another thing is that you will need to variate every declaration that you have. You can tell that this product is, let's say, best for this temperature, but if we minus, let's say, for lower temperature or higher temperature, you might need to actually change some attributes of the products. In other words, saying or giving a certain declaration or answer is not good enough. You will need to variate it for multiple other things. Let's say I ask a question and I tell, how long does language education take in Germany? So according to the Googlers or search engine engineers, there is no explicit question. Every question has actually some implicity. For the question that I have given as an example, I didn't mention what kinds of language education, what parts of Germany, in what century, and for whom, for professionals or for children or others. So in this area, you will need to use uncertain inference, because all probabilistic search engines, they try to understand probabilities in the questions and the queries. If you are able to list all these different variations then you can actually use some smart defaults. You can give a main representative answer by saying that, let's say, in total 3 months, per daily or per day or daily, let's say 3 hours, and per week, let's say 12 hours. So when you ask how long, the search engine will definitely focus on the time measures or the time units, because in the question we say how long. In this case, if your main answer, the earliest point of the answer, if it doesn't have any kinds of time units, most probably you will be filtered out. If you don't multiply your answer, if you just say 6 weeks, again you might be filtered out because you didn't tell how many hours per day, and with what methodology. With with personal practices or personal learning, it might take longer. For children, it might get longer too. So to be able to have a proper information responsiveness, you will need to variate every query, every question, and then you will need to order all these variations, and you will need to answer all of them one by one, without breaking the context. So that's why semantics is a little like labyrinth, to be honest, and you are playing with the search engine as a kind of mind game.
I think you've just provided someone with a content marketing strategy for 2023. Koray, you've shared what SEO should be doing in 2023. So now let's talk about what SEO shouldn't be doing. What's something that's seductive in terms of time, but ultimately counterproductive? What's something that SEOs shouldn't be doing in 2023?
First of all, they shouldn't write articles for the sake of writing, and they don't have to just publish more content all the time. And instead, if you go back and if you just increase your older articles' quality, you will actually be in the safe zone further. Every website, I believe, they have many, let's say, every website's 20% or 50% of the URLs, they actually don't generate a click for the last 28 days. You can even check that. So if these web pages, if they don't generate any kinds of clicks, it means that there is a quality issue there. So if you don't fix these web pages, your new state, your new URLs also will be affected that. Instead of focusing on always writing more, just go back and increase the quality for these, and also create maybe more internal links, or check what kinds of wrong information you are giving, because it is certain that if you give the wrong information, the search engine won't forgive you. Lastly, David, I can maybe add one more conceptual concept to help. In an article, you can find 3 types of errors: structural errors, conceptual errors, or information errors. Structural error means that actually you are using long paragraph or sentence structures grammatically. Conceptual errors means that you are giving useful information with the wrong concepts. Let's say you said a sentence like search engine crawlers rank. Technically, they don't. Search engine ranks. Search engine crawler just crawls. So this is what actually a conceptual error is. And when it comes to information error, the search engine doesn't forgive you. It is the biggest sin actually in the semantics. You can't give the false information. If you do that, you will start to lose actually your authority in a really big way. And you should go back and you should check these web pages rather than just trying to focus on other new content all the time.
Koray Tuğberk GÜBÜR is founder at Holistic SEO and Digital, and you can find him over at holisticseo.digital. Koray, thanks so much for being part of SEO in 2023.
Thank you for calling me. Thank you. It means a lot. And I suggest everyone to actually check the Majestic as well, and also your fabulous books. It will be a perfect school for everyone.
Get your copy of SEO in 2023, the book, over at seoin2023.com.